No one has really picked up where Jacques Cousteau left off and developed a brand that is big enough and powerful enough that it can give the ocean back a global voice like it once had with Jacques Cousteau. And so we decided to actually start a production company to bring the world's oceans into people's homes so they could develop their own relationship with the world's oceans. And then potentially they would care and be aware of what is going on and make an effort to improve our situation on the world's oceans because they had that relationship. And we are hoping that we can build brands and build a product that's big enough that has billions of viewers around the world, is available for people to see in hundreds of countries in dozens of different languages, so that we have a global presence and a global voice for the world's oceans. That is the purpose of the TV, so that we can command the audience of politicians and policymakers, because our scale and our brand is so big that they have to see us, and we are seen as a leader in marine and ocean conservation. So it's important, I think, for people to understand that, you know, we're trying to make a global impact on the state and the awareness of the world's oceans between now and the time we die. And making TV is just part of the plan. It's not the plan. What it does is it generates the revenue we need to fund the research and the scientists to develop the data to take back to our nonprofit OSearch in Washington, D.C. to advocate for management plans and global policies to look after the world's oceans. OSearch is a very exciting thing. It's our nonprofit. We started a little over a year ago. It focuses on 4 main areas: research, which people can see right now in Expedition Great White on the National Geographic Channel, where we're solving the puzzle of the great white shark and where it feeds, breeds, and gives birth, so that we can put a management plan around the white shark in the areas where it's vulnerable to ensure it's here for future generations. Research is something we're very active in. Education is also a key tenet of OSearch. By educating people and having them connect with the world's oceans and these species in the ocean, it will create an awareness of their condition and make them want to act to look after things. Marine debris is another area we focus on. A huge problem. You must have a global brand and be able to get an audience with global policy makers and leaders of different countries in order to affect marine debris, because it is a global problem. It is not something any one country can solve on its own. Sustainability is the other issue. The big thing that we're focusing on sustainability right now is the Atlantic bluefin tuna, which we've been battling, trying to get a CITES listing on, and we just came up short, but we did get the support of NOAA and the U.S. government for a CITES listing for the bluefin tuna, which was a huge step. And we want to continue to fight the battle to look after the bluefin, because this is a here and now problem of our generation. And so we need to focus on that area. The other one is shark finning, and this ties in with Expedition Great White on National Geographic as well. The shark finning situation going on across the world's ocean is a shocking thing, and it's not a good trade for a bowl of soup. And we need to find out a way and understand the cultural needs of the countries that are involved in consuming that, and try to figure out a more sustainable, managed program to look after the white sharks, because it's really throwing the balance of our oceans, you know, way off. We're just harvesting too many sharks. So at OSearch, we focus on research, education and awareness, sustainability, and marine debris. We got involved with this great white shark research project because we were working with Dr. Michael Domeyer, capturing and tagging black marlin for him. He's not only a leading marlin researcher, he's also a leading great white shark researcher, and he had a challenge. He had a permit to spot tag mature great white sharks. But the challenge was, no one has figured out how to capture 1 to 5,000 pound white sharks, or any creature in the ocean like that, on a repetitive basis where you could release them in good shape. Well, we had the mothership and we had this big lift, and I got a crew full of world-class big game anglers, and I thought, we can capture these sharks, and we can use the lift that we pick our game boat up with and put on the deck. And we can lift these sharks out of the water, put a hose in their mouth, allow the crew to tag them, the doc to inspect them, draw blood, check for seminal fluid, and let them go in good shape. And I felt so strongly about it that I felt like we might be the only people in the world who could do it. And I committed to him that we would go ahead and take him out and do that. And I had no funding for the expedition. I funded it myself. I thought we would be able to sell it, but we just documented it because we document everything. And 2 years later, we hadn't sold it. And 2 expeditions later, we hadn't sold it. And I was down to my last liquid dollar, and I almost lost everything. But I felt a commitment to the world's oceans and an obligation to help him solve this puzzle. Because even if we had lost everything, I felt we could get a dozen or so tags out for him, and he could solve the puzzle of the white shark and look after it for future generations, basically forever. Because we could figure out, where is it feeding, where is it breeding, where is it giving birth, and then put a management plan in place to protect him. So I gambled everything I had. I was down to my last liquid dollar, and National Geographic came in and bought the series and basically saved all we had worked for. I just felt like it was our obligation to give back to the world's oceans, because she has given us and my family so much. And that's how we got involved in the White Shark program.